Okay.
You said it. All right, can I get everybody's attention real quick? First of all, thank you. My name is Sandy Mills. I'm a workforce development coach here at the Urban League. I'm not sure if everyone has had an experience of knowing what the Urban League is all about, but to give you a little bit, we're happy to see that you're here, but hopefully we want to build a relationship with you. This is one of those opportunities where we can tell you a little bit about what we do. We're going to show obviously about what AI does, but then afterwards we hope that we keep in contact with you, and that wherever space you are, whether you have a career or you have a job looking for a career, or you have all the above, but you possibly even go start a business. At the Urban League here at Greater Cleveland, we have our own FOC program, which are Financial Opportunity Center. So if we could assist you financially, just know that everything is all about empowerment. We have our SOAR program, which is soft skills, getting you prepared for a job or just life. So I'm telling you that only because I want to make sure that you're aware of what's out here for you in the community. There's something that's looking to help you and doesn't have a hidden agenda. Our whole goal is to see you succeed. So with that, again, my colleagues are here. Regina Lane, who's in the back. I have Tia Leslie, who is in the far back. A lot of you all may have gotten emails from Tia. We together will pull this together with We Can Code It, and you're going to hear more about that, and the individuals are part of that, including Don Wank and Thomas Watson, who are all about We Can Code It. Again, it's all about empowering the community as far as IT and AI. So on that, further ado, I'm gonna give this to Mr. Wank, and you can take it. Well, you want to hit that video?
I'm going to. We're gonna open with a video that Sandy put together that
Thank you.
really, in a very graphic way, introduces you to some of the stuff that's happening in the artificial intelligence world, and I think I got a big kick out of it. I hope you will too.
Everybody here?
Welcome to the Urban League of Greater Cleveland's Workforce Development event, which is titled AI and the Future Workforce. We are delighted to have you all here today. A special thank you to Don Wank from We Can Code It, who has joined us to share invaluable insights about AI and its impact on future careers. His expertise in this field is a treasure trove for all of us aspiring to stay ahead in the rapidly evolving job market. Before we dive into the fascinating world of artificial intelligence, we have a small request. Please take a moment to turn off or silence all electronic devices. This will help us maintain an environment conducive to learning and engagement. Remember, taking notes is key. Studies have shown that relying solely on memory leads to a retention rate of only 15% to 20%. So please, jot down your thoughts, ideas, and questions. Not only will this enhance your understanding, but it will also prepare you for a productive question and answering session. As we embark on this enlightening journey together, keep in mind that by being here, you have already taken a significant step towards your future success. Thank you once again for your presence and eagerness to learn. Enjoy the event, and let's explore the future together.
What about y'all? But
Excellent job there.
What have we created there?
Let me get set up here and we'll get cranking, and hopefully you'll have some fun with me here tonight. Just a very, very brief introduction. I am Don Wank, and I work for a company called We Can Code It, and it's a boot camp is what it's called. We have several different learning experiences, but the mainstay is a 14-week program that takes people right out of a factory or out of driving a truck and turns them into high-class web developers. Our students this past year, graduates, average starting salaries is $61,000 a year. So I've worked for them for the last 3 years, and with me is Thomas Watson, sitting back there. Thomas is my boss, so don't say anything bad about me. My first slide here, artificial intelligence is a blessing and a curse. And we're gonna get into both sides of this. I don't know, we've all been on the internet. The internet is a blessing and a curse. I buy almost everything anymore on the internet. I love it. But by the same token, we've got people that use the internet in very illegitimate and nasty ways, quite frankly. Pedophiles, people that steal our credit card information. And this AI is going to be very similar to that. I've got several goals tonight. First one, I just want to broaden your understanding of what AI really is. And maybe most importantly, I want to teach you how to use a tool that you can take back home with you and use virtually in every facet of your life. It's something called ChatGPT. Recently, my wife had her 75th birthday, and she got a card, an email actually, from her 10-year-old granddaughter that had 10 reasons why she was a good Italian grandmother. And they were so well written, just perfect. And my wife immediately knew that Lily, 10 years old, didn't write them. She had used this AI tool and had asked it to put together a really nice email to her 75-year-old Italian grandmother, complimenting her in 10 different ways. So it's something every one of us should be using today and have a good understanding of it. So that's really important to me tonight. The other thing I want to accomplish is to enlighten you about what ramifications this can have on your careers. AI, artificial intelligence, is going to impact us all in many, many different aspects of our jobs. So you've got to be aware of that. And not only for yourselves, but I've got children and grandchildren that I'm worried about too. And the other thing that I want to talk to everybody about are some career alternatives. What are some of the careers that maybe aren't going to be hurt by AI so that we can pursue them, or the people that we love can? Just a little bit about me. Why should you even listen to me? I've got 50 years in the IT arena. I started way back when I was 21 years old, 22 years old. I've worked for some of the largest software companies in the world. I've watched the evolution of the computer industry over that 50 years. I've been able to travel the world, and I did it all with an IT career. So very frankly, one of my goals here tonight is to try to entice some of you to maybe enjoy some of the benefits that our school can offer to you, and just as importantly, to offer to your children or grandchildren as well, if you have them. So I'm a father and a grandfather, and AI has really, really made me impress on my whole family and all my friends the impact that it's going to have on them potentially losing their jobs. My two children are both in the IT arena. I'm going to push my grandkids into jobs, not necessarily IT, that'll be safe from the AI revolution. And I care about everybody in this room too, because I can see AI replacing so many jobs. When we have folks that aren't earning a good living, we live in a world that's not very comfortable. So I care about all of us being really successful. So, why specifically am I concerned about it? This gentleman here is named down at the bottom of the slide, Ray Kurzweil, one of the really bright people in the AI world. He's saying that by the year 2029, AI will reach human intelligence, where it will be able to do anything we can do, and in many, many cases, in the body of a robot. And not too long after that, certainly probably by 2050, it will be many-fold more intelligent than we are. So it can be really, really scary. So again, my biggest concern is this whole concept of targeted job elimination. And earlier this year, Goldman Sachs, they're a big investment firm, they issued a report predicting that AI-powered software could affect as many as 300 million jobs. A little bit later, we're gonna look at the trucking industry as an area that jobs are gonna be eliminated in. There are gonna be somewhere in the neighborhood of 150,000 to 200,000 real high-paying truck driving jobs that are gonna go away. So we've gotta take note. However, there is a plus side to that, and this is something that all of us have to embrace. And that is 60% of the jobs that existed in 2018 didn't exist in 1940. Computer programmers, for example, didn't exist at all. Manufacturing companies that use robotics to build the products that they sell to the public. New tech doesn't necessarily replace jobs, but it displaces them. We have to reinvent ourselves. We've got to upskill ourselves into jobs that are going to be able to really thrive in that new world. But AI is doing some really great things. One thing I highlight here is the medical community. They are using AI very, very effectively. And one of the really graphic examples of that is breast cancer. Women typically have mammograms. A human looks at those mammograms, and sometimes they're distracted, sometimes they're fatigued, and they don't necessarily have the eyesight that can identify one little pixel that might potentially be cancer. AI can do that. If you build a robot, or a bot as they're called, a piece of software that uses AI technology, they're estimating that they're identifying 78% more of breast cancer much, much earlier, saving tons and tons of lives. So a lot of real benefits to what the technology is offering us. However, many negative impacts, and I'm going to talk about the negative impacts now. Microsoft, huge software company out west, decided they were going to replace good many of their editors. Microsoft publishes a newspaper daily, electronically, and they gather news from many different sources and then publish it so you and I can get a consolidated source of the world news. Well, they've made some real gaffes lately. They claimed that President Biden fell asleep during a moment of silence for the Maui victims. There was a conspiracy theory that the latest surge in COVID-19 is being orchestrated by the Democratic Party, and many, many others, because AI is not perfect. It is not. And the activities that it engages, at this point in time, it isn't perfect, but it's getting better and better all the time. So we must embrace it. We need to be aware of the negatives. This is a biggie. I'm going to show you a video now that we all need to really take to heart with our friends, and especially our families and our children, of what can be done with images of our kids by very sophisticated AI software. So bear with it, I think you'll find it very interesting. that loud enough for the back?
Is we loud?
I think it gets louder.
Hey Mom, hey Dad. It's me, Ella. Well, a digital version of me, just a bit older. Amazing what technology can do these days, isn't it? All you need are a couple of pictures, like the ones you share on social media, where they can be taken and used by everybody. I know for you these pictures are just memories, but for others, they are data. And for me, maybe the beginning of a horrible future. A future where my identity can be stolen just like that. Where I could go to prison for things that I would never do yet. Imagine my credit score being destroyed, Dad. Or my voice copied to scam you, Mom. Mom, I'm in trouble. I need you to send me money, please. I don't...
Okay. Can we want to leave the lights out?
Is it more? You good?
This is what's called a deep fake. And they were able to put that together with just a single photo of a 9-year-old girl and easily transform it, push her ahead 12, 13, till she's 14 or 15. They need to get about 3 seconds of a soundbite of your child or loved one, and they can emulate her voice just as it was done here. For example, they might make a phone call to you using your child's voice, saying, hey, a gang just grabbed me. They want $500 dropped off on the corner, or I'm not gonna make it home tonight. Not out of the realm of reality. It's available and easily done today. So these deep fakes are very dangerous. But I wanna warn everybody, we're gonna be, I think, lambasted with deep fakes in the coming year. As we look at what's evolving in the presidential elections, I saw one that Biden supposedly said, you could swear it was him. He said, I'm gonna reinstate the draft. I'm gonna make it for 20 to 25-year-olds, and I'm gonna include women and men in that age group, and we must reinstate the draft because we're gonna be sending troops to Ukraine shortly. Now, I know for certain that he hadn't said that, but in this coming year, whether it's Trump saying it or Biden saying it, we're gonna have to be very, very judiciary in making judgments about the validity of what we see online. Because you can't believe your eyes anymore. You can't believe your ears anymore. So let's be really good citizens and take into account that quite often things aren't what they really seem to be. I want to talk a little bit with you now on how AI actually works. And what they've done with the AI software, we're going to be working with something called ChatGPT today, is they have emulated our brains. You think about how we make decisions. We perceive the environment, we detect a pattern in it, and then we come to some understanding. For example, I've been in front of groups like this my whole career. I'm looking around right now and I'm thinking, everybody's watching me. This is a very attentive group. I don't see anybody looking at their phones. I sense that I'm doing a good job. That's a pattern in my brain that's been saved over these 40 or 50 years. We all do it. So the whole essence of AI is taking advantage of a very complex process in our minds, which is neural networks. But what they've done with software is they have emulated the way that we think. And it captures many different patterns about different situations, different questions, different decisions, and then make that available to many, many different aspects of our lives. Big one, the one that I really will hope I can drive home tonight, is I want you folks to take advantage of what they have built already that other human beings are using, other manufacturing companies are using, the medical community is using. We need to understand it and embrace it today to help us in our everyday jobs. And I'll talk more about that later. So AI is just a very, very sophisticated piece of software, computer software, that is capable of emulating the way our brains think and the way that we create patterns that we match up when we're making decisions about things, or when we're telling someone how to do something. We draw back in the patterns that we've stored in our brains and share that information in many different ways as humans. AI does exactly the same thing. Now, right now, there are actually 3 phases of artificial intelligence. We're in the first phase. It's called narrow intelligence. And some common examples of that would be speech and language recognition. I don't know about you all, but I'm amazed that I can talk to my phone and ask it questions. You know, just unbelievable. And then when I ask Siri, please give me the local restaurants in the area that serve sushi, she comes back and says, there's Otani's and there's, you know, the Samurai, and lists them off with voice emulation, capable of generating voice from just text. Because when I asked the question, they took my voice, converted it to a query, went out and looked online, just like we would, type it in maybe, found those restaurants, and then related it to me by converting it back into voice. Other things are like self-driving cars. That's all in this first stage. They're relatively narrow in scope. The second stage is the one that scares me, and that's artificial general intelligence, AGI. Now we're talking about a piece of software maybe embedded in a robotic body that is able to think as fast and as effectively as we all can in this room. And in many cases, slightly faster, and they don't get fatigued, and they typically don't make a lot of mistakes. People felt that that was probably 8 or 10 years off, but it seems right now that the major producer of this ChatGPT is having an internal argument. They have this ready to go, but there are a lot of, what would I want to call them? There are just a lot of issues that are difficult to decide. If they turn this loose, it can eliminate tons of jobs very, very rapidly. So our government is going to have to intervene here. I think we're going to have some controls on AI as we move on and artificial general intelligence becomes available. But they're talking about, they're projecting the third level will be super intelligent, where they will be able to think hundreds, if not thousands of times better than we can as human beings. Now, I hope we never get there. We've all seen these science fiction movies where the robots are taking over humans. It's not necessarily out of the question, but I'm just concerned about that first level, where we are right now, and how it's going to be replacing jobs that you and I may have, and just as importantly, our children. So I want to introduce you to the main player right now, the one that I want you to be able to embrace when you get home tonight. And that is called ChatGPT, is the product that you should all be experimenting with, and it's not difficult at all. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to open up my ChatGPT on my screen, and it's asking me, how can it help me today? Well, like my granddaughter, when she put that card together for my wife, said, hey, create, you know, a content of a greeting card that will compliment my grandmother. What I'm gonna do here is ask it to, I'm gonna say, oh, pardon my typing, I'm gonna say, create a poem about we can code it students' success. So I haven't loaded this up myself. This product is constantly out on the internet gathering as much information as it can into its brain to help people make decisions or embed this software into manufacturing or self-driving cars. So let's see what it says about making a poem for us. So he's off thinking. This is a poem. I'm not gonna read the whole thing to you, but in the tapestry of code, their stories unfold. Weakened-coded students, bold and bold, success echoes in the keystrokes they write, a testament to their coding might. And you know, there were 6 or 8 stanzas similarly put together, really outlining exactly what our students do and what echoes their success. This product has knowledge of We Can Code It. Let me get back to my screen. This is a good one. This is something that I've actually used myself. It can help me write emails. And I'm saying here, write a brief email, please, that apologizes for my tardiness in the staff meeting yesterday. So, I'm gonna go back to my ChatGPT. Not there, there. And I'm gonna ask it, write an email apologizing, and it'll let you make spelling errors, to Thomas, my boss, for being late to the staff meeting yesterday. Now, while it's putting it together, we have a lady that works with us that English is her second language. And earlier, before we started using ChatGPT, I was amazed at how poorly written her emails were. Sometimes I couldn't understand them. Then overnight, she turns into an English major. And it was ChatGPT that did that for her. So, dear Thomas, I hope this email finds you well. I'm writing to sincerely apologize for my tardiness to yesterday's staff meeting. I understand the importance of punctuality, and I regret any inconvenience my late arrival may have caused. And then it goes on. Due to unforeseen circumstances, I encountered an unexpected delay. You can use this today in wherever you work, in your social life. You could say to it, you know, please, to my significant other, write an email that pledges my love on this anniversary of our meeting. And it will do an outstanding job for you. You can ask it to write a letter to a disgruntled customer apologizing for the defect in the item that they bought from us. And it will write it better than any of us in this room can do. So embrace ChatGPT. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do some experimenting. So this is where I want everybody to get online, and we'll help you if you're having difficulty. Up here, if you can't see it in the back, you know how you do a search in that Google bar at the top of the screen? Just enter chat.openai, chat.openai. And you should get to a place where you'll be able to select you want to log in or you want to sign up. It logs me in automatically because I had it saved my password. Is it getting you there? Let's see what you're showing. There you go. You want to sign up.
That's it right there.
Okay. What you want to do is go up here onto this bar. You can do. No, right here. Select it. Enter CHAT.
Works Tuesday. Google it. Okay. So you've already done it. No problem.
So you want to enter chat.openai.
Use Claude. That's a good one. Check that one out, it's pretty good. It's really good at communicating back and forth, which really ChatGPT is become better at that.
As far as lets you do your responses, search for information
Looking at X is gonna be
I think at one time, so I think it's ChatGPT just has more money. So there was Microsoft business.
You're fine. I'll click sign up.
Excuse me. Yes.
Yeah, put your email address. Right. Yeah. So what you want to do is go back to the top there and hit the delete.
It is. No, I'm just trying to see what's coming.
GPT. See, it's right there.
It's really cool.
Everyone is signed up.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do this every time. You just gotta get these logged in. So did you put your email address? Oh, okay. Yeah, you got to have an email address to verify. Yes. That's your email, huh? Do you remember your email password? For your email.
You're all set.
Yeah, I just Googled it.
Yeah, you can, that's what the try anything you want.
So what do we use?
If you have a Gmail account, do you have a Gmail?
This is the scary part right here.
Login?
You already signed in, Sean? You already signed in?
Unfortunately, you've gotta have your email account and know your password to your email.
Thanks.
Yeah, just play around with it, ask questions, see what it gets back to you. Press it.
We've already got you. I know.
And you're in.
How do you clear?
Now, you can ask it a question.
New chat.
Ask it anything down below.
But another cool thing is that if you do this one, you can do follow-up questions and it can, make sure the question you ask.
So how do you,
Who's the guy who,
email it? It's not.
Were you able to get anything? Okay.
I'm doing it on my phone.
Oh, okay.
Just write it one way, you know, I don't like it that way, so maybe it's 50% shorter. So you make it, you can put it that way,
Could you have to verify?
like say if like it's coming from a director or
No.
a teacher or something like that. And it'll write it like it's a teacher or something.
Oh, you can tell it to.
Yeah, like from the perspective of somebody else.
Were you able to? No. Yeah, you gotta have it.
Because it automatically populates at home.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You should look for in the invite to say, help for your email password, I'm sorry.
You can go to that like Google.
And it's only so many times I try.
Shouldn't stop.
Yeah, you can ask it anything you want.
Yep.
If you don't have Gmail, Microsoft or Apple, there's another way to create a login.
You have to have an email address. Yahoo would work, you know, any email address.
Okay, all right.
Because it sends an email to your email, you gotta look at it,
Yeah, I'm just.
and then you can, verify your identity that way.
Okay.
How many people have been able to get in? You've been, how many in? You're in, you're in. All right, those of you that are in, we're gonna play a little game right now. I've got 3 Starbucks gift cards to give out. So the first game, first person that can tell me what now you can't just verbally tell me, I wanna see it on your screen. What's the best eating fish in Lake Erie, and what's the best way to prepare it? What is the best eating fish in Lake Erie, and what's the best way to prepare it?
But you're using this though, you want them to use this to get it?
Oh, they gotta use ChatGPT.
Yeah,
You got it already? Oh, man, those hands went up fast. All right, I gotta come and look at your screen. Oh,
Type for another
it's not bad. Come on, 1 second. I gotta come around.
Yeah.
Gonna tell
One hour longer password.
What'd you come up with? What'd you come up? Anybody come up with perch?
I came up with
Walleye?
Perch is my second.
You got perch?
He's a second grader.
Let me take a look at yours.
I had one
Yeah, send it to me. It's up there as a send button.
Now, I know a bunch of you were able to get the answer of walleye, but when I did it earlier, I got perch. Not because I did it differently than you did, but sometimes AI will give you two different answers to the same question. So I'm giving the perch lady the first one.
Do we have any real fishers in the room?
And try.
So where do you catch perch, where do you catch walleye versus catching perch and bass? Perch and bass you can catch off the shore.
Oh, yeah.
Walleye, you never go out.
No. How about all those guys lined up on 55th on the wall there?
That's in the shallow, in the shallow when they come in.
Yeah.
The perch and bass are the easiest typically.
Yes, you're right. But me personally, I like perch the best. Yes, y'all did a really great job with that one. Let's try another one.
Quick question. I'm sure some of y'all was cheating, just putting on their Google and asking the dog questions, so y'all need to use this program.
He's in.
Don't bypass the
It's
program.
already done.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I won.
You, I've only got one for each question, so I apologize. Next time I'll come with more. All right, this one, We Can Code It, my company, We Can Code It, has a mission. What's its mission? What's the mission? Help me, I want to see the first hand that goes up that we gotta, let's say that's the person that wins it. Oh, we got a hand back there. Let me take a look at that screen.
I didn't even type it in. I didn't even bother.
I'm looking. Doesn't say what the mission is though. What's the mission?
To increase.
Oh, the mission.
What is the mission of We Can Code It?
To
It's
increase.
possible.
Sir, what? Right there?
To provide coding boot camps and training programs to individuals interested in pursuing a career in technology. The mission is typically centered around making technology and education accessible and inclusive, particularly for underrepresented groups.
That's what I was looking for.
Such as women. and
When I
minorities.
joined this company, one of the major reasons I did was, and you win, sir, was because of the mission. And the part that impressed me, when Melanie McGee founded this company, she founded it with a mission of inclusion and diversity. We target 4 groups of people in this company: women, people of color, the LGBTQ community, and veterans. Now, we do get students that fall outside those 4, but Thomas's job in admissions is to hit 70% of our class should be made up of people that haven't been given opportunity to get into tech. All right, I'm gonna take the prize out there for a second, but let's look at the third All right, this will be an interesting one. AI is going to replace a lot of jobs. Use ChatGPT to identify what some of the safe jobs are going to be. What are some of the safer careers that we can pursue that won't be impacted by AI? You have a hand behind you, or you just holding your head?
Healthcare, creative professions.
I got 2 hands going here. I think this lady first. Go ahead. What?
Healthcare professionals, creative professions, social and human services, skilled trades, education, science and research, management and leadership, personal care services, hospitality and customer service positions.
You win. Nice work. Would you pass that down? Thank you. I'm sorry everybody wasn't able to get in, but I hope you've gotten a little taste of ChatGPT and what it's capable of doing. Me, for example, I was given a very detailed task, a big one. We've got a new class that we teach called data analytics. I had no idea what it was. You know, when Thomas said, hey, would you put together a presentation that explains what data analytics is all about? I never encountered it. I said to ChatGPT, I knew that it was a way of assisting an organization in making decisions. Most decisions made in the business world today are gut decisions. But there's this trend now, they want to make decisions based on data. So a new position called a data analyst, data analytics is coming up, and it's one of those that'll pay well over $100,000 a year. So I said to ChatGPT, I said, I own a chain of hamburger stands across the country, and I want you to put together a data analytics plan that will help me pick the next location for my hamburger stand, my very next investment. And it laid out like 10 or 12 different criteria that should be considered, told me how to get to the data, told me how to clean the data, showed me how I should be showing it to management. You know, you just don't want to have a bunch of numbers. You want to have charts and graphs and so forth. ChatGPT gave me a roadmap that was just perfect for putting that presentation together. So experiment with it, use it, and in your jobs, if you do nothing less or more, let it help you write emails. Let it help you make excuses for not showing up to work. But it, you know, I use it like, I was gonna fry some turkeys over Thanksgiving. And I said, please give me all of the appropriate steps to fry a turkey. Boom, it was there, just perfectly, as a matter of fact.
So you burned the house down?
Not that time. All right. Now, I want to explain to you, try to expand a little bit on this ChatGPT thing. ChatGPT is the crown jewel right now of the whole AI world. Everybody looks to it as the hub for how they can manage business problems. Let's suppose that I'm a bank and I want to replace my customer service people. I don't want to have to rely on them anymore, but I want to give a high level of customer service without the human being there. So we've got a disgruntled customer that calls up to the service person saying, hey, I didn't write that bad check you say I did. I'm not paying that $35 fee. Well, right now, we would talk to a human being and they'd say, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Wong, you know, we'll take a look. I'll go and look and I'll get back to you in the next 3 or 4 minutes and we'll see what we can do. Well, I just kind of threw this whole thing together to show you how ChatGPT is at the center of all this. And there is something called an API, not real important to you folks, but it's an application program interface. And in this scenario, for this problem to be solved, we've got to check your personal bank records. We do that by going out to the bank's already in existence application. I don't know about you guys, but I'm always looking at my bank balance and the transactions. That's already in existence. And we need somebody to communicate with the customer and give them some sense that, you know, they're talking to a human being. So there are things called avatars. And you guys can experiment with this. This is a lot of fun. You go out and you look for an avatar that can talk. And you'll find these little sites where they'll let you experiment with it. It doesn't cost you a penny. Sandy apparently, found that avatar that we looked at earlier, the robot type face. And what he did was type those words in, sent it to the avatar, and the avatar mouthed those words. Well, I went online and I picked an avatar that I wanted to be the center of this scenario where I've got an upset customer. So the customer's calling in, or in the future, they won't call in, they'll just go right online. Because what happens then, I remember to turn the speaker on, is they will get the customer service person on their screen. So this is an avatar, and I put these words in her mouth.
Welcome to Big Bucks Bank. Can I assist you today?
So says that to everybody. Well, now the guy's on the phone, he's saying, I'm really upset. I didn't write a bad check. You're charging me $35. I'm not gonna pay it, and I think I'm gonna quit the bank. So she says she's gonna go off and take care of it.
For drafts and the checking?
So she said, I'm gonna go off and check your account and find out if indeed there is a problem.
They're quite common. Let me check your history on that $70 check. Just be a minute.
So she says, quite common to write a bad check. Let me go and look. It'll just take me a minute. Probably gonna take all of about 10 seconds.
That check cleared on June 10th. You only had $69.70 in your account at the time. I have checked with my supervisor and she has approved us waiving the $35 fee. Anything else I can help you with?
So what's happened there, she didn't go off and, keyboard anything. ChatGPT's sitting there. I said what my problem was. ChatGPT says, oh, I've got a pattern out there that says bad check was written. What do I want this avatar to say? So they would send the words through ChatGPT to the avatar. Hey, happens all the time. We get bad checks. Let me check and I'll get back with you. She didn't go anywhere. She just sent a request to the bank account. They could use your phone number to link you to your bank account. And then she would see that on June 10th, you wrote a bad check for $70, you only had 69 in the bank. She didn't check with her supervisor. There's a set of rules in ChatGPT that say, hey, if this guy hasn't written a bad check in 2 years, we can forgive the $35. So that's exactly how this would all go down, and that's how that probably $35,000 or $40,000 job is gonna go away.
I want to bring to your attention that your Big Bucks credit card payment of $125 is due in 3 days. It's for you.
Now, I probably wouldn't ask about my credit card, but she takes the opportunity to offer some additional service. Doesn't cost the bank anything, just a few cycles on the computer. So that concept where you got ChatGPT as the brain sitting in the middle, it's able to talk to a robot arm, it's able to talk to a bank account, it's able to put words in the mouth of an avatar. And you watch her lips move, you think she's speaking those words. That's exactly how they put these deep fakes together too. All right. Let's look at some of the industries that are being impacted today by AI. And I get a big kick out of a couple of these especially. This is one of my favorites.
Struggling right now, many are understaffed, and what employees they do have may feel overworked. Wait staff rushing from table to table to help serve you, but an Anna Maria restaurant came up with a solution and showed it to ABC Action News reporter Wendy Lane.
At Anna Maria Oyster Bar, business is thriving, but with a worker shortage, food needs help arriving. And that's where Pearl comes in.
The best part of an oyster is a pearl, right? So now we have Pearl.
Pearl is a robot that delivers food from the kitchen to the tables.
Pearl works 7 days a week. She never needs a day off. She works doubles, and she works for about $2.50 an hour.
Restaurant owner John.
I was in a Mexican restaurant. I live out in Menor, east of here, and we'd ordered our food, and I heard Mexican music coming out of the kitchen. And this little robot comes right to us, singing a Mexican song. Hello, glad you're here at Don Locos, I think was the name of the restaurant. The tacos are on level 1, the enchiladas are on level 2, replacing a very low-level job, but very inexpensively, and it doesn't call in. So it does exist. Couple that, I don't know if you've been in restaurants where they give you an iPad and you can look at the menu there. I kind of like it because in some of the better restaurants, I can click and say, show me how this food was prepared. So the chef has pre-recorded, this is how I prepare it, these are the ingredients. You know, it's just a much more pleasant experience in many cases than talking to some 20-year-old and I say, how was it prepared? And I got no idea. So in some cases, I don't mind having the waiter not be delivering the food, makes a lot of sense. Then the trucking industry. This is happening today.
Imagine looking in your rearview mirror and seeing this 70,000-pound 18-wheeler behind you without anyone at the wheel. Well, we are pretty much there because this truck is driving itself. Aurora Innovation already has autonomous trucks like this one cruising the highway, just with a babysitter at the wheel.
At Aurora, we're building self-driving technology.
Sensors track what's going on around the truck, and an onboard computer not only drives, it does so as politely as possible so it won't freak out anyone else on the road.
Combination of hardware, software, and data services that allows us to essentially operate vehicles autonomously.
These trucks all share a common robot brain.
It's happening now. Now, I don't know if you know truck drivers, you know, I have some buddies that drive truck. These guys can make $70,000 to $100,000 a year. They're gonna replace them probably almost entirely with these self-driving trucks. Not tomorrow, but we'll see it within the next 5 years, that they won't need a human babysitting the computer that's driving that truck. And then lastly, this one's really interesting. It's robots that are building robots.
Some economists say the world is entering a second machine age. Artificial intelligence and other advancements enabling robots to do tasks that until now only human eyes, minds, and hands could handle. For this episode of Moving Upstream, we traveled through Asia to meet the next generation of industrial robots, where robots are making robots.
They're making love to these robots. Keep making babies.
Yeah, tonight. To see how they're changing manufacturing and whether they're sealing the fate of low-skilled workers.
I won't be around to see this. Some of you may be, but imagine that second level of artificial intelligence where it can actually think as well, if not better than we can, and you embed that little computer in this robot's head and let it interact with free will. It will be able to think for itself. It's something that is going to take a lot of governmental control, in my opinion. But we'll see where it's headed. So, any questions? I should have mentioned, you know, I'm certainly open to any questions that you might have. All right. So it's finding its way into virtually every aspect of our work lives and our personal lives, for that matter, like robots in the restaurants. So let's ask ChatGPT who is at greatest risk. And I did that earlier today. I said, hey, who's at the greatest risk of losing their jobs in the near future? Data entry clerks, telemarketers, thank God. A routine, I hope none of you are telemarketers. Routine manual jobs, customer service like the bank we looked at, retail jobs, transportation, truck driving and delivery. Even pizza deliveries are going to be done by drones in the very near future. Many manufacturing jobs and some accounting and bookkeeping roles. So I point these things out because we've got to plan ahead. We've got to upskill ourselves, but maybe more importantly for many of us in this room, we want to make sure that we push our children in the right direction so that they're going to thrive in the new world that we're going to be living in here very shortly. But by the same token, and we asked this as a question earlier, what careers have the greatest opportunity for success in the future? IT professionals. You know, I believe that firmly. I don't see danger for the IT professional because they're the ones that are going to be harnessing and using AI to its greatest degree. Data analytics, I spoke to you earlier about that. It's a brand new field. We're using data to make decisions instead of intuition and gut feel. They're going to do extremely well. Healthcare, doctors, nurses, STNAs, you know, they're state-trained nursing assistants. Green jobs, this is big. Everywhere we look, we're seeing wind and solar power, and the electric vehicle industry is coming at us whether we like it or not. I had breakfast with 6 of my high school friends this week, and the conversation, these guys were all muscle car guys. They love their gasoline automobiles. And conversation turned to electric cars, and they said, they'll never overtake the gasoline car. I said, stop a minute. 100 years ago, 1900, can you see us sitting around the breakfast table saying, oh, those horseless carriages will never take the place of the horses that we've been using all these years. Electric cars, I think, are an inevitability. Construction is another area that's going to remain strong. My family's construction people. I've spent several years of my life as a contractor. I'm glad I personally have those skills. Education and training, especially people that train well using online tools. Business management, biotechnology, human resources, all areas that we should be thinking about if we're mid-career, and we should certainly be recommending to our children and our grandchildren in the future. So, I'd be remiss if I didn't really hammer on the information technology arena. It, I think, is one of the very best places that a person can find themselves. Not everybody's cut out for it. You've got to have not necessarily the right IQ, but your brain has to enjoy solving the kinds of problems that an IT professional solves. And you look at the salaries here that these folks enjoy, and for me, it's been a phenomenal career, both challenging, interesting, and highly lucrative. And the benefits are unbelievable. Anymore, many professionals don't even go into the office. My daughter works at Progressive Insurance. She has not been in the office for 3 years now. They're glad to let people work at home. So wonderful benefits as well. What are some of the, oops, went the wrong way. So our company is built upon the premise of taking people and upskilling them from their factory job, their truck driving job, their customer service job, into becoming professional web developers, becoming cybersecurity professionals, becoming data analytics professionals. We've been voted one of the best companies in our industry for the last 7 years in a row. All right, pay special attention here. This is the second most important thing I'm gonna tell you today. First was ChatGPT. Work with it, try it. It's gonna be a real valuable tool for you. But we, for the first time, have free education that we can offer anybody that is a junior in high school or higher. So everybody in this room can take advantage of these free educational programs that we have. And the real flagship one is called Pre-Skill. And what we do there is introduce you to web development. We teach you how to paint a screen. We teach you how to manipulate data on that screen, the very foundational capabilities of web development. The state of Ohio, 2 weeks ago, would only allow us to offer this $3,000 program if you were unemployed or you were poverty level. Today, any of us that are Ohio residents, myself included, Thomas, we could attend this course. It's over a 2-week period, and you have 32 hours of classroom training with an instructor. We train through Zoom. You don't have to come to a classroom. You do it from home. You do have to have a laptop or a workstation at home in order to attend. But it can prepare you for some lower level positions in the IT world. Our full boot camp is 14 weeks long, and it costs $14,900. And state of Ohio, in some cases, depending on your personal situation, will pay for that. Vet Tech, veterans, they pay for it. That's the one where the average salary of our starting salary of our graduates is $61,000. But with this one, the very last day is a career services oriented activity, helping you, showing you how to incorporate you get a nano degree from We Can Code It, and you can integrate that into your resume, and it'll make some lower level positions available to you. For example, let me just get to those. Oh, I took them out of here, I apologize. But you could be a librarian in a, for the electronic artifacts in an organization. You might be involved in doing some very rudimentary web development work, jobs that would fall in the $25,000 to maybe $35,000 category, but would open the door for you to move upward. But then many of the students come out of that pre-skill program excited. They really enjoyed it. They can get into our full boot camps then, which are cybersecurity, web development, and data analytics. And they are 14 or 15-week programs from start to finish. So pre-skill is the way to start, especially in that it's going to be made available to you free. So I hope I achieved what I set out to do. I wanted to give you a good, solid foundation and understanding what AI is all about and how it's going to impact our lives. I wanted to give you some skills that you could use in your day-to-day work or day-to-day home lives with ChatGPT, and then I wanted to make you aware of this free education that we have available to you. It's $3,000. We have people that pay it out of their pockets that are from out of the state. But the state of Ohio is paying for it because they're, well, for example, recently, just outside of Columbus,
Who paid
there's a
for it?
new chip plant being built.
Somebody paid for it?
Building computer chips, 3,000 new jobs.
For real, you don't
Governor's
have to pay, I just need to
extremely
hear that.
excited.
It's free.
Pardon?
Just making sure you said that it's been paid for us if we want.
Yeah, that's right. It
Okay,
is
just wanna
paid
make sure
for
everything-
by the state of Ohio for you. Anybody in this room, anybody that is a junior in high school or older can be paid for. It's absolutely outstanding. Additionally, there's another free class. It's called SQL. It's the language that people use to extract data from large databases. Very important if you're gonna be a web developer. They'll pay for that too. Yes, sir?
So how do you sign up?
How do you sign up? There is a brochure over on the table for pre-skill, and it points you to exactly where you wanna be on our website to sign up for it. And I can pretty much guarantee you that once we get the list of names and phone numbers and email addresses, we're gonna be reaching out to all of you. But boy, if you have any interest at all in experimenting and learning more about IT, this is the best opportunity I've ever seen in all the state of Ohio. Yes?
Can you repeat the SQL again?
SQL, data in today's world is stored in a database that's called a relational database. And you might have a web page in, let's say Amazon, I always use that as an example. You say, I would like to buy earbuds for my iPhone. That's what you ask for on that screen. Web developer has to take that and hand it off to someone that's gonna access their databases and go out and find, like you might say, I want earbuds, iPhone, gotta be less than $75. It's a special language that pulls data out of a database. We then, here's 15 products that meet her requirements. It would then get passed back, and the web developer would build a screen that would display those products. But we gotta get them out of the database, and SQL is that language. So web developers really need to know how to build a web page, they need to know how to manipulate data, but they also have to know how to use SQL. So we offer both. Other questions? So we'll be here for as long as anybody wants to chat with us. We can talk more about that pre-skill program with you. But if I were not in the IT field today, I would wanted to be first in line for that education. And it's a springboard to get into the full boot camp where $61,000 is starting salary. 2 or 3 years under your belt of experience. These guys are making 80, 90,000. Some of the California developers are making like Amazon, and some of them make 150,000 a year.
So how much is it when you take the 14 or 15 week course?
It's 14,900, and the state of Ohio does have money that they can contribute, typically to people though that are unemployed. And then we've got a ton of loan programs that you can avail yourself of.
Okay, so
Are you a veteran by chance?
Okay. So it's free for unemployed?
Pardon me?
It's free for unemployed?
No, not necessarily, but it depends on what county you live in, typically is what it is. And it varies from about 50%, some of the counties actually pay the entire tuition. But we've got a finance department that works with you to by the way, if you take this pre-skill course that I'm speaking of, the free one, when you sign up for the boot camp, we knock 1,500 off. So it would be 13,400 if you attended the free camp. So, but we'll work with you, and you know, very low-key organization. I don't want you going to class unless you're comfortable with the financial picture and you know what you're going to encounter in the classroom.
Right.
So you and I would meet one-on-one if you wanted to go to the full boot camp, and I'd walk through every step of it, make you very comfortable. Okay. Any other questions? Well, I want to thank all of you for attending. It's been really a lot of fun for me. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you'll learn something. I'd like to thank Sandy for inviting us in and for allowing us to have the privilege of talking to such a large audience. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, the last one, yeah. Oh, we got one last video that I want to show, and then ask you questions.
Really, so people can pre-skill and SQL courses we have. Especially since our scholarships are open to everybody.
In a second, cue it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude our event, we want to express our deep gratitude to everyone here. A special thank you to Don Wank for your enlightening insights into AI. Your expertise has been invaluable. We also extend a special thanks to Sandy Mills from the Workforce Development Department for his hard work in organizing this event. His dedication has made this evening both informative and successful. Thank you all again for attending and contributing to the discussion. We look forward to seeing you at future events.
If you don't do it, no one.
Well, she changed your name from the introduction to the end.
Yeah, she's confused.
Oh, well, the name, that's good you caught that. It's spelled W-A-N-K. It's German name, and it would be Wank, you know, W's are like a V, but Wank is the way that I like it to be pronounced. Wank.
Quick question, before you all grab your coats and everything, we need donations. No, just real quick, it's a couple things I want to cover. I want to again thank you again, and I hope that you all clap with me. Thank him for coming. And Thomas Watson for coming. I had the AI say my name, but Regina Lane in the back, she also invited people here. Garcia, Jasmine in the back. So, one, there's a couple things, that's scary. There's a couple of things that I want to touch base with you. First, you all filled this out. Everybody filled this out? Okay, so, this is going to be real quick. It's going to seem like a little crazy roll call, but it just helps us to follow back. I want to find out who was invited by who, because some people are guests of guests of guests that carry the one, and I just real quick, who? Gary Brown? Brandon, all right. Say your name again?
Colin Sullivan.
Colin? I was the one that programmed that to say his name wrong, so you know I'm saying it. Sir? So who invited you?
Oh, yeah, email.
From
Urban League.
You know who from the Urban League, like who might, are you being coached or anything by anybody?
I
I
That's
think-
Mr. Dabney, I think it's, either myself or Eric. I think it's either myself or Eric is your coach.
Oh, yeah, they said Eric Cunningham was my.
Say your name?
Lavelle Dabney.
Yeah.
Definitely want to pray for Eric. Eric is not feeling well, so if he's not here, his other colleague is not here that you all have. Shawana,
But I got the email from Tia though.
got you.
Did you say Shawana?
I'm picking.
Actually.
Sir?
Terry Mason told me.
Mike.
Yeah. No, this is Mike.
What your name is?
I already know superstar Terry.
Rosita, Kimbrough. I was invited by TRB.
Oh, I know you.
I know you. I know.
Tia.
So I was brought by you.
Oh, no, I got you. I'm so superstar, I got you. Tia. Who you invited by?
Dominic and Kathy Murray, invited by Yawanda Plain from Greater Cleveland Partnership.
That's who you got invited by?
Yeah, she sent us
That's the girl,
text
okay.
today, yeah.
I seen her see it on my Facebook and stuff. You see how I get excited.
That's right, it was through Facebook.
Say your name.
Dominic and Kathy Murray.
All right, and Reno, I know. All right, so the other thing real quick, 'cause I don't want to hold you too much longer. The information that you all learned here, was it helpful?
Very.
Oh, yeah.
Who's the one that was, at the Urban League before?
Who
Who went through the Urban League before?
Who went through the Urban League already? Terry? Bill, you went through it?
Just be me, somebody can call me today. Oh.
You said what?
You went through the program.
The computer program.
Who said late? All right, so the other thing, as you all are sitting here, I want you all to make sure that you are really asking questions even after this, even whether it's ChatGPT or some different things. Don't let this die here. Don't assume that, I heard someone say their job was safe. Who said that? Somebody earlier said their job was safe.
TRB. I did not, my job is not safe.
And reason why I want you all to think this out, seriously, real talk real quick, is because here's the problem. You're going to start getting complacent or thinking that you're okay. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to say, educate yourself. Don't get complacent. Don't look at this, don't chat GPT, this cute, and it passed you by. Just gave you a tool that's gonna go much further than what you all are plugging in. It's not just basic questions. You had to start somewhere, or you'll go nowhere. So don't just stop here, because if you do, you're gonna find yourself really left. We use analogies like COVID. There's a lot of you in here pretty much joking around that COVID ain't nothing, and you saw it more than something. Or some of you all had 8 tracks and you still got it. I'm just joking. But the reality is there's some things that's gonna pass you by. And this is about educating our community. This is more than just a little taste of it. This is reality. The stuff that you are seeing at deep fakes and everything else from a political standpoint, you're not gonna be able to believe what you hear from this point on. So take this seriously. And I'm passionate about it. Why we brought Don here is because you're looking at it one way because it's not, quote, affecting your life now. So be excited so you can get ahead of the game rather than wait for it to affect you. And then later on you sitting there talking about, you know what, I remember it was in December. And God told me something about this. Make sure that you are if you have more questions, the reason I also asked about the people you invited, ask them again about even future information we're gonna have. The classes that you have with We Can Code It, these programs, is that exciting to you or interesting to you? Make sure that you get with the person who also invited you so they'll know that you took these steps, so we can walk with you all as a relationship together. Also, don't look at it as just, again, a career. That's educating you for the things you don't even know. And for free $99, when it was a $3,000 thing, you should all be at least interested in looking at it. for free 99.
Take that 99 off of there.
Because 99 cents I'm gonna take as credit on the side. But seriously, when you have something like that, make sure that you take advantage of this. This is how our communities are, this is how it's getting past people in the community. And with us, again, not being funny, but with most of us being black, from that standpoint, we don't have a presence on this AI that's coming along. If you put in the images and stuff, it doesn't look like you. Some of the language or description is not necessarily you, because it's only going by certain things. You need to educate yourself. Don't be scared of something you don't know. Just be knowledgeable and use these different things. So on that, we appreciate you. Definitely appreciate you. We're sitting here talking about the 4 people that's gonna come in here, and we got great people that's in here, and this is an amazing turnout. So,
Yep, we one of the best audiences I've ever had, so thank you.
SOAR. So anybody, if you all heard of SOAR, by the way, Solid Opportunity for Advancement and Retention? Anybody? Good. So let me go, I threw that over your head, but reality is you're here at the Urban League. And one of the main things that we do is prepare you. And we have trainings that here, just by you registering, you're getting those for free. There's a lot of things that we offer just by you taking the initiative to register. If you have financial issues that are going on, especially from a guy standpoint, we got egos. A lot of times we don't want to step up there, people in general, but it takes a long time, to get help from people. We have no agenda. So even if you had help before, I'll still ask for more and see how much you can get. As far as job placement, if we showed you a way to make money, even if you're making money, would you want to know how? Ain't no trick question. I mean, seriously. Real talk. So ask us questions. Get back to us. Please do not let it die. On that note, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Those are actually opportunities. Those go into the scholarship. Set up for free.
That's also why.
Well, we don't have
Hey, you don't think full of us? That way it's this.
Female phonographers and stuff like that.
The who? Oh yeah, it is.